obviously, like, I just didn't want him to go out like that. So I'm telling him, please don't go out like this. I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, I didn't know that it was gonna go down like that.
Over a month ago, we made a video on Antonio Brown, and more recently, we made an entire documentary on this man's life and career. But it seems like this drama has been resurrected as a result of some things that Mike Evans said that clearly pissed off Antonio Brown. Before we get to the content, we are giving away $500 to one of my followers on Instagram, and make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications for the latest and greatest NFL news. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The last time we were covering the Antonio Brown drama, this thing escalated to a pretty strange place. So to give you an idea of what happened during week 17, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were losing to the New York Jets, Antonio Brown took off his jersey in the middle of the game and left the field, chucked up the deuces, and this is where things get a little interesting. There are two branching stories. On Antonio Brown's side, he claims, according to himself and his lawyer Sean Burstein, that Bruce Arians was trying to force Antonio Brown to play despite him being injured. He had a broken bone in his ankle and he was not able to go inside and play. He claimed that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wanted to shoot him up with a very harmful painkiller, which I'm assuming is Toradol, which is widely used in the NFL, and have him play on it. Now, that's Antonio Brown's side of it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers side of things is that Antonio Brown was frustrated because he was not getting the ball as much as he thought he deserved to get the ball, which was pretty ironic because he was one of the most targeted wide receivers during the game that he did play. And I guess his frustration is what resulted in him just leaving the game, and as a result, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would then release him. The reason why I think this is a little sad is, one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers definitely needed Antonio Brown. I mean, with Chris Godwin out with an ACL injury, the fact that they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, and bear in mind that they almost were able to beat the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round of the playoffs. I feel like if Antonio Brown was available during that game, it would have made all the difference. And then eventually Tom Brady rode off into the sunset and retired. It's just a really sad way to end things with a man that pretty much gave you another chance to resurrect your career. Now, ultimately, Mike Evans finally spoke out on this situation when he explained what Antonio Brown's outburst was all about. And the reason why this is significant is because Mike Evans was the final person to talk to Antonio Brown before he took off his jersey and left the field. And this is what Mike Evans had to say.
We were trying to get him to come back in the game. You know, he was saying he wanted the rock. Rightfully so. We should have got him the rock. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. We're like, yo, come in the game, AB. So we're asking him to come in the game. We're on offense. I'm like, AB, big bro, come on, let's go in the game. They're calling for us. So I'm trying to get him to come to the game, and he doesn't come. So I go back on the drive. I do my two plays. I come out, and then I see BA still trying to get him to come in the game. And they had like a falling out somehow. AB goes off and he's about to take his pads off. And I'm trying to grab his pads and tell him like, yo, big bro, because me and him have a relationship. And I don't want him to go out like this. Like, we need him. So I'm telling him, yo, big bro, we need you. The season's almost over. If you don't want to be here the next year, you can leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, I just didn't want him to go out like that. So I'm telling him, please don't go out like this. And they're calling me to go back in the game, so I just left him alone, like, all right. But then on a TV timeout, we see that he was doing all that stuff, taking his pads off, doing jumping jacks. I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, I didn't know that it was going to go down like that. I mean, I thought, we was going to have a chance to go to the playoffs and probably repeat. And he would definitely help us.
Now, Mike Evans' statement is very significant for two reasons. One, it clearly states that there's an acknowledgement that Antonio Brown had an injury. Both him and Mike Evans were on pitch counts as a result of their injury. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seem well aware both Mike Evans and Antonio Brown were coming off of an injury, and they probably didn't want to play him too much, especially with the playoffs right around the corner, even though they were down big against the New York Jets. But in addition to that, the other thing that is significant about this is Mike Evans admits that Antonio Brown was frustrated that he didn't get the ball enough, which sounds very reminiscent of the reason why things didn't end up working out during the end of his tenure in Pittsburgh. He was mad at Ben Roethlisberger for not finding him and not targeting him enough, and ultimately that resulted in him getting traded away from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Oakland Raiders, well, back then the Oakland Raiders, until the cascade of off the field issues happened, and then he would sign with the New England Patriots, and then eventually find himself on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Since then, he's been doing all kinds of stuff. He's good friends with Kanye West now. He was at the Super Bowl with Kanye West in a ski mask, and things have been really quiet on Antonio Brown's front. Well, Antonio Brown took to social media to throw Tom Brady and the Buccaneers under the bus once again in a pretty graphic exchange, and I'm assuming this all started as a result of the things Mike Evans said. Antonio Brown posted onto his story that they tried to hurt me intentionally at the Buccaneers. They sent me out there knowing that I was still hurt. He keeps going, man. These are all bullet points saying Tom said he would throw it if I came to play hurt, and I came. He didn't throw it. Imagine being hurt, having to play through this, and being lied to. Here's the important part, man. It seems like Antonio Brown proved the other side correct. Antonio Brown was upset that he didn't get the ball. He's even admitting this in his story, that if you look at bullet point number 3, Tom said he would throw it if I came to play hurt, and I came. And he didn't throw it. Imagine being hurt, having to play through this, and being lied to. Bear in mind, in week 16 against the Carolina Panthers, he was targeted 15 times, and in his final game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was still targeted 5 times. And that's before he left the game. So he was still on track for a ton of targets. So then he says, coach said if I couldn't run on this, get the f out of here. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Still can't stop me at NFL. So it seems like Antonio Brown is just responding to what Mike Evans said, but in addition to this, he kind of outed himself in my opinion. He seemed upset that he wasn't getting enough targets, and honestly, I think there is some truth to what he is saying in regards to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers forcing him to play through an injury. Here's the thing about Antonio Brown, and I'm not saying this is a CTE thing or a too many shots to the head thing or whatever. I think this is just a simple miscommunication. I mean, at the very base of this, that's what this all boils down to. And it's the fact that Antonio Brown isn't good at communicating what's on his mind without coming off as a little brash and aggressive, and he's very quick to push people away, even individuals that are willing to give him another chance. Ultimately, where Antonio Brown stands currently is, I don't know, he started this thing with Kanye West called Donda Sports. I don't know where that's gonna go. I wish him all the best in his ventures. I think the Baltimore Ravens are interested in signing him, and I think that's gonna be the final team that signs Antonio Brown because his cousin Marquise Hollywood Brown plays there, and he's a huge fan of Lamar Jackson, even name dropping him in a podcast. But that's what we have on this situation, man. I honestly think there's something deeper with Antonio Brown. Ultimately, man, I wish nothing but the best for Antonio Brown, and I hope he succeeds when he eventually gets signed by what my prediction is the Baltimore Ravens. And if the Ravens don't sign him, I don't really imagine him getting signed by another team. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.